next Spider-Verse movie will be Miles Morales' last. It's time for the latest news out of animation. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, celebrating the release of Across the Spider-Verse, creators Phil Lord and Chris Miller went into detail on the future of their franchise. And they didn't hold back. Once the subject of the third movie, Beyond the Spider-Verse, came up, the two men made it clear that they're sticking to a firm limit with this story. Is Beyond the ending, or do you have It Is? It is the end of the Miles Morales trilogy, and so this whole thing is working towards that. But that's it for us. We're so tired. While of course the idea of the Spider-Verse film's ending is disappointing, we shouldn't be too surprised. Lord and Miller admitted earlier in the interview that they didn't even have firm plans for other movies when making the original Into the Spider-Verse. It was only once development on Across started that they came up with the idea to turn this into a trilogy. While their answer may change by the time Beyond comes out, for now, it makes sense to plan this as one story with a firm endpoint. But Beyond the Spider-Verse won't be the last part of Lord and Miller's Spider career. They reconfirmed 2 additional projects, shows focused on Spider-Man Noir and Silk. These are still technically in the works. Both would be linked to the Spider-Verse continuity, but would use live action rather than animation. However, they're both currently paused in production due to the writer's strike. At this rate, it's likely these shows will only come out after Beyond the Spider-Verse hits in 2024. Even if Lord and Miller step back once the TV shows are done, Sony is absolutely not going to abandon Miles Morales. Producer Amy Pascal has been adamant about moving towards giving the younger Spider-Man his own live-action movie, and the success of Across the Spider-Verse only strengthens her position within Sony. Pascal has big plans for all the Spider characters. She's made it clear that she considers the main cast from Spider-Verse to all have potential for a spin-off. But Miles holding the Spider-Man name means Sony has a strong reason to make him more prominent. The studio's rights to live-action Peter Parker are limited by the MCU's deal they struck with Marvel. They can't produce live-action films with Pete that would conflict with the Tom Holland movies. But Sony has full control over Miles' film rights. If they want to make their own Spider-Man live-action film franchise, he's no doubt their best option. He may even keep the same actor. Spider-Verse's star, Shameik Moore, has been firm about wanting to play Miles in live action. He's older than his character, which would require a very different take on Miles. Still, his voice will be very familiar to audiences. Keeping that continuity might be tempting for Sony. Before that film hits theaters though, we're getting a spin-off movie focused on Spider-Gwen. That film's performance will be the first big test of whether Sony can expand the Spider-Verse into a full-on franchise of its own.